Hello, YouTube. It's your old boy, Double D, live and in the flesh, as they say. Let me ask you, am I as handsome as you thought I was? All right, you don't have to answer that. Today, we're going to do something a little different. We're going to get the One D&D World Reveal trailer. This is the big reveal for the new edition that's coming down the road very soon, probably within the next year or so. All right, let's get right into it, shall we?
Dungeons & Dragons is a thrilling adventure, one we play together as dungeon master and players, but also an adventure itself. Now,
Well, what does that even mean? It's an adventure game involving all the parties that are needed to play it, but it's also an adventure in and of itself. Don't know what that means. It's all right. You want to get nuts? Come on, let's get nuts.
we stand at the start of a new generation of Dungeons & Dragons, and today we're going to introduce some of what's in store for us as we embark on an initiative that we call One D&D.
Growing up, I loved fantasy, but I never saw myself as the hero because I didn't think it was possible for someone who looked like me, who acted like me, who was like me to be that hero.
This is a game that is completely predicated on the fact that you can be someone else. You could be anyone you want when you sit down at a table. And for her to say that she was incapable of doing that, I don't believe it. I honestly don't. Would she roll up a character and then just say, "Nah, you know what? I can't do this, guys. I really can't. I'm not worthy." Come on.
We want to continue to reach out to folks who are interested in fantasy, who love storytelling, who enjoy spending time with their friends and creating these collective stories that they can remember for years to come.
D&D's been around for 50 years, and there's very little that persists that long that becomes generational, that people can really just not only share, but literally hand down to their kids. What we want to do is just add to that legacy.
We did a smart thing with 5th edition by listening to the fans. And what came out of that process was a system that is stable, that is well loved, that incorporates the best elements of earlier editions. Now that we have that, we are no longer in the position where we think of D&D as an edition. It's just D&D.
All right. So if you can't read between the lines there, they are making it very clear that this is not a 4th edition situation. If you recall, 3rd edition, which came out in 2000, was very successful. And they had to make a little money. So they, a couple years later, they released 3.5, which I think essentially this edition is going to be 5.5, which is fully compatible but different. So basically, you had to go rebuy all the rule books if you wanted to, keep up. But at a certain point, they felt that the product had reached the end of its life cycle, and they were wrong with that. So they paid the price. They came out with 4th edition, and it was not well received. Not well received at all. I personally didn't mind 4th edition. It's very miniatures heavy, and back in the day, and even somewhat still now, we run a pretty miniatures heavy game, so it was kind of right up our alley. But it would be a lie to say that it was well received. It was not. So
5th edition is a rule set that has worked for so many people and has brought so many new and exciting folks into the game. It's more important for us to continue to cultivate and respect and love what it is, that the world has told us is working for them.
The sort of change you're going to see isn't about taking anything away from you, isn't about changing any of that stuff that you love. It's much more about giving you more options, giving you more choices you can make, more character types you can play, more magic spells you can cast. Basically, we're very happy with the game the way it is today. We just want to build on that.
getting the picture? they're not changing anything, but something tells me they're going to sell you some very expensive books.
The major core rule books that every player uses, the Player's Handbook, the Dungeon Master's Guide, the Monster Manual.
One of my focuses, specifically, is the Dungeon Master's Guide. I'm going to make some structural changes to make it more friendly to new DMs.
When it comes to art for D&D, it's about as versatile as our players. We want to show that the person you are can appear in the world of Dungeons and Dragons.
That's
Chris Perkins was saying about the DM's Guide, being structured for beginners. I think I kind of take that to mean it's going to be slightly dumbed down, which I'm not sure is a good thing. I can see why they're doing it with the influx of people, coming in from Roll20, all the critical role effect, if you will. But for any of you longtime players, I'm not sure. I'm not sure you're going to be getting very much out of this new DM's Guide. And about the art, we've already seen the direction they're going with the art. In the Strixhaven book, in Journeys Through the Radiant Citadel, it's going to be a lot of that Cal art style, which might have its place elsewhere. I would argue it does not have a place in a fantasy role-playing book. It's too cutesy. It does not hit the tone of your average D&D game. Not even close.
what 2024 holds, is this promise of getting new versions of the books that are the game you know, but reflect where the game is presently.
One D&D has 3 pillars, and one is the rule set.
I should also say a lot of these people are shameless anti-capitalists. They do not like capitalism. But here they are trying to sell you something essentially you don't really need.
Which is built on the base of 5th edition, but updated.
We're building upon the rules that have been established, the storytelling, and expanding our world and our rule system.
When we say building on top of 5th edition, what we mean is that all the adventures.
Sure, Borf the god. Oh my god. Guys, I gotta tell you, for a long time, I think D&D held this kind of underground cachet of kind of being the cool, kind of whatever nerdy thing to do. It was just something we did, because we'd played it since we were kids. And, hey, it was a good excuse to get together with friends, in our case, every Friday. But to see, what is going on with this game, I don't know. Orf the Goblin.
And supplements that have been released in the past 10 years will still be playable with the new evolution of D&D.
So they have hammered it into your head probably about 10 different times now. Nothing is changing. But they're going to ask you to rebuy everything.
And there's D&D Beyond, which is the base of our digital tools and assists for players and DM.
Uh-oh.
Currently, players are cobbling together all kinds of different apps and websites to have a true integrated D&D experience. What we want to do is actually just provide all the tools that the players need to play themselves in one space.
Right now, with the acquisition of D&D Beyond, we've already started to dip our toe into digital, and it was a fantastic partnership that we have going, but we can add more.
Digital physical bundles is something that we've wanted to do for a long time, and now that D&D Beyond is part of our family, it's finally something we can do. Your content is available anywhere you want it, and you have those physical books, but you've got nice portable versions that you can access through your phone or through your tablet.
Well, I do admit that is handy. Wait until you see the cost of this bundle. Getting all 3 books digitally and physically. Get ready to bend over. This is going to be well over $200.
Through your other device.
Then our future-facing aspect of this is the D&D Digital, which will become a full play space. For you to have experiences that are more immersive. Right now we're in early development of our digital experience. We can play a game, roll some dice, see the miniatures moving around in a 3D play space, but that's just the core of it.
Let me show you the real core of it is players spending $4.99 on their virtual mini. Oh, and you got to get several different poses, so You'll rebuy the same mini 5 different times.
Chose the Unreal Engine
Wow.
for several reasons.
Reason number 1, make it look dope.
Uh-huh.
That's the first thing. Number 2 is take care of the lazy DM, because we're all lazy DMs. Ease of use.
Take care of the lazy DM and make him essentially be a computer programmer. You have so much on your mind when you're running a game. Nowadays, now everybody's going to make you remember their fucking background. You know, oh, don't you remember this? Come on, get on the ball there, Charlie.
Means being able to access all of the tools that you need in order to get the adventure started. So we used a camera technique called tilt shift. It actually makes things look small. We want to make sure that the experience for you is that you're experiencing a miniature set.
The tilt shift camera was really chosen so that people understood that this wasn't a video game, but it is a digital experience. We want to.
If they have to tell you that, then you know there's something going on there. I mean, they know that they're blurring the line pretty soon. Let me reiterate, this is supposed to be a social game. I understand there's situations where, you know, you have a player move away and maybe you can remote him in, or if you just live in the middle of nowhere, yes, it's obviously, you know, better to play, you know, online, you know, with a new group of strangers and get to know them. But I think there's just a lot of people, this is all they do, is they play in 3 or 4 virtual games a week. You're not supposed to do that. You're supposed to get people to come to someone's house and bring snacks, and you joke beforehand. You know, you play, you joke while you're playing. And then afterwards, you know, you unwind a little bit and you build friendships. This is just so impersonal that they're making this game perfectly emblematic of the social media era.
Give people more minis, more options for character customization. You can actually change the features, do what you want.
More options, more dollars. The people behind this, not these creative people, but like the business people at Wizards or Hasbro, they are really smart. They probably went to these guys and just said, "Look, we don't give a fuck what you're doing as far as the additions, you know, new or, you know, just tweaking. Just do more of this. Do more of this virtual stuff. This low overhead. You know, we can pay a couple of programmers to just bang out all these minis, all these artists. And you know what? When they release this, they're going to earn back all their overhead on day one, and then after that, it is pure profit. So I do not begrudge them doing that at all.
You want with it, and you're going to use this miniature approach to tell stories, just like you do in physical tabletop,
to have your character live.
Your character's supposed to live in the theater of your mind. He's not supposed to live on a $5 virtual miniature you purchased.
I'm transported there, but I'm not limited by the digital technology.
We might give you a pre-made campaign from us that has an exciting castle or keep with a dungeon inside of it, exciting NPCs, but then you're going to be able to take this playset, take it apart, and build your own. We're going to have a really robust tool for you to be able to create your own dungeons.
This is just the start of One D&D, and we are relying on all of you to help us out and figure out that future together.
No, you're not. Again, it's just so shameless. They've already told you they're not changing anything. They can't afford to, and they won't. So them saying that you're going to have an input, it doesn't track. You're going to have input, you know, to tweak a few spells, to do a modifier here or there. They can't change anything. They've already told you the answer beforehand.
What you're going to be able to see starting in August is a steady release of these playtest packages where you'll be able to engage with key aspects of the game, provide us with feedback that then we will digest, process, interpret, analyze, and then act upon.
Really?
They're going to tweak a few things here and there just to make it look good.
It's you shaping the next generation of Dungeons and Dragons, and we want to hear exactly what you have to say.
No, it's not. I mean, how could you How could you look at everything they've said up to this point, where they literally told you 15 different times, we're not touching the rules one bit. And then they have the unmitigated gall to turn around and say, but hey, we're listening to you. So, if you want things changed, we're going to do it. It's just not true. I love that sweeping music, like, you're a part of it. If you believe this trailer,
playtesting starts today. Go to dndbeyond.com, download the playtest packet, and get ready to let us know where you'd like this next leg of the adventure to go.
All right, so final thoughts. This is very much just a 3.5 situation. They're not going to make any changes, despite all of the lip service at the end that you're going to have a say. You're going to have a very small say. They're going to make it seem like you have a say. And other than that, it's just a business decision. Look, they're a company like any others, and I don't begrudge them that. I'm a capitalist, so I understand it. I will probably not be buying this unless it's just to review. That's up to you guys, whether you keep me around and you like and subscribe and do all that. I'll be happy to go through and do the hard work so you don't have to. But yeah, it's just a basically an update, and they are really now, because like Critical Role and that kind of thing, wasn't around or wasn't big, back in 2014. This is all kind of aimed at that new blood that's coming in. I've already done a little sneak peek at some of the other stuff. They're just so big on these backgrounds for characters. It's for all these players that don't feel like they need to be part of a group. It's all about them. Everybody's got to be the star of their own show. So, yep, it's gonna cater very much to that crowd, which means it is probably not for me and probably not for folks like you if you're subscribed to this channel. But if that's not the case, let me know in the comments. Let me know what you think. That always helps drive the business, as they say. So I'm going to let it go here, and I will be back with another video very soon. Till then, it's your boy, Double D, signing off, wishing you a fantastic day. And I will see you on the flip side.